Well, Earth Day is fast approaching. It's a day we can take a step back and think about our impact on the environment.
As News 15's medical editor, Dr. John Lepre shows us tonight, despite some gains in reducing the amount of trash we generate, more work still needs to be done.
This week we recognize Earth Day. This was founded in 1970 as a chance to recognize the impact we have on our environment. This year's theme is Planet versus Plastic. They're calling for a 60% reduction in plastic by 2040. Turns out we recycle less than 5% of our plastic, and the reason is more complicated than you may think. You know that confusing array of numbers? Really only number 1 and 2 are recycled. The rest are much more difficult, and in fact number 6 and 7 are impossible to recycle. But let's head back to the trash. We generate more than ever. In fact, we generate 60% more trash now compared to 1960. Back then, each person threw away about 3 pounds per day compared to 5 pounds today. But it's not all bad news. While the amount of waste has increased, so has recycling. This went from about 6% in 1960 to about 30% today. So while 94% went into the landfill back then, only about 50% goes in today. Do you ever wonder what we're throwing away? The biggest category is paper, followed by food, plastics, then yard waste. Metals and glass are fairly low. We do a good job recycling the majority of paper and yard waste, but we only recycle about 13% of metals and less than 5% of the rest, including plastics. Now here's something you may not know about that plastic bottle. Every month, each person throws away 13 bottles or 2.5 million plastic bottles per year. Recycling 1 ton of this stuff saves enough energy to power a 2-person household for 1 year. Now remember, recycling plastic is tricky, and we only recycle about 5%. The key is an overall reduction in plastic usage. Reporting on your environment, Dr. John Lepre, News 15.